I'm here today with Gunnery Sergeant Fong. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today.
Yep, of course.
I'm really excited to learn about the Marine Corps and I'd love to ask you a few questions.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Firstly, I'm interested in learning more about the leadership qualities that enable the Marine Corps to fight and win for our nation. Especially, I'm curious about enthusiasm, endurance, knowledge, and courage. I'd love to hear why those are so important for the Marine Corps.
Okay, definitely. What you listed were key traits that came from what we call the Marine Corps leadership traits. And for those four, that's necessary for what Marines need to lead and win the day. Endurance is something that you actually require to last throughout the long day. Also, if there's something mentally that's like an obstacle that's stopping from somebody to finishing the mission, you need that endurance to continue to fight. And at the same time, for knowledge, you have to know your ins and outs for that specialty, for whichever job you're doing, whichever task. And just to make that critical thinking and that quick decision, you need to have that knowledge to have to go around. For enthusiasm, of course, you need to have that uplifting motivation to carry around the team. Because if you can imagine, like even in the civilian side of working, that you don't want anybody's mood to drag you down, right? So that enthusiasm, you need to keep it up so you can continue at a fast tempo and get the job done, get the mission done, and go home to the day and have a good night rest. And lastly, which is for courage, that's key. It's the backbone. It allows you to actually stand up for yourself, stand up for your team, and actually be able to know what's right and wrong and stand up straight if it's right or wrong.
I love that. Yeah, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, of course. And what I want to say is, out of those four that you actually asked, which one stands out to you the most and why?
Yeah, that's tough because they're all super important. I think for me, what resonates the most is probably knowledge, just because I'm a really curious person. I love diving deep in things that I find interesting. So whether it be academics, classes, and gymnastics, or even social media, I love just learning everything I can, trying to be the best at it, or at least the most knowledgeable. And it's just, I think being curious is a really good trait in being successful for whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah, definitely. And what we like to say is curiosity and obtaining more knowledge throughout your life. In a program we have called the Marine Corps Martial Arts Program, we call it being an eternal student. So being an eternal student, you're always longing for information. You always want to learn because there's no end to what's being thrown out there in the world. So everything's growing. Every year there's something new to learn. And we want every Marine to actually increase their intellect, become a intellectual warfighter, to be able to win the day and use the new knowledge and be innovative to be useful for the nation and the community.
Can you share an example of when using these leadership traits it led to a positive outcome?
Yeah, definitely. So about 2 to 3 years ago, it was right on the tail end of COVID. So we were trying to do a logistics project movement, and we had to pretty much be able to help out ships and give resupply to them. Yes, it might exceed normal work hours. It might exceed where we're going to actually talk to people throughout the nights because it's on the other side of the world. That's how we were able to pursue that goal. At the end, when we were able to accomplish all in 48 hours, utilizing all the stuff we talked about, that's how we accomplished the mission, with kind of the enthusiasm as a high and even higher when we finished it, knowing that I had the courage to stand up and talk to the higher ups and get things done. And at the same time that we got the job done, I can help Marines throughout the ship and go to a different place. It was a difficult feat, but what I would say is it taught me a lot about how to actually have that leadership trait, how to manage a team, at the same time not being more of a boss but of a leader, because everybody has their own external, internal factors that will cause them to be able to be a great Marine worker or so on. And I had to have the empathy as well to find out how to get them motivated throughout the day.
I think empathy is super important too. I think that's a good segue into my next question. I'm wondering how these leadership traits will serve you in your future life as a Marine and after your active duty service.
Okay, so after my active duty service and future as a Marine, I'm 13 years in, I have 7 years left. I have a lot of goals I want to do as a Marine, being able to pursue and spend more time and having that influence over the new generation of Marines, helping making the mission happen wherever the world, wherever the Marine Corps wants me to be. But at the same time, let's say for endurance is I'm going to keep pursuing new ventures. And actually when I retire, retiring at 37, I could just relax and live life, love life. But I have goals that I actually want to help out my family. And now I can actually have a more fulfilled life. And let's say for knowledge, I'm going to keep learning, because even with the bachelor's that I got from the Marine Corps, I'm also going to continue going for my master's, if not maybe the PhD as well. The courage is going to actually help me take those calculated risks, because post-retirement, there's so much time that we have being used to like working a lot. But now we know how to, like I said, how to navigate through the unknown. We can make those calculated risks and actually help out my family, create my new family at the same time, and just be able to be an influence to the community once I come back. There's so much avenues that I can approach that I would not think that I could do when I was 18 years old.
Wow. So being in the Marine Corps opens so many opportunities that whatever your interests are after your active duty service, you can go to many different avenues.
Pretty much the biggest thing is learning the potential that you think you had. We always believe that you can go higher than what standards you believe in. So 18 years old, all I wanted was just to get the degree, maybe live on my own and have fun. And I did get that, but I got even more. I was able to have more in a leadership role. I met new brothers and sisters in the Marine Corps that I can call as close as family. The biggest part is where the opportunity to push to greater heights is better than ever, just thanks to the Marine Corps. And if you think of those big areas, that leadership shows where somebody actually enjoys working, or that it's mirrored by actual like leadership framework.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I'm sure just the leadership traits that we've been talking about, having those instilled in you by being in the Marine Corps, are just immensely useful. And yeah, I can totally see the translation.
Yeah, definitely. Now, question for you is, Ian, is what opportunities do you think that you could use these traits in just your regular life or whichever?
I think how I see it most in my life, I feel like gymnastics has given me everything in my life and my career and all my friends, everything. It's my passion. And I also want to give back to my community and the gymnastics community. These traits apply everywhere. I really want to provide value in the gymnastics community and really, just creating value in the community, getting more people aware of gymnastics, particularly men's gymnastics, educating people. There's the knowledge leadership trait. I have to be knowledgeable in order to educate people, but you have to know a lot in order to teach somebody in such a short, concise, usually 1 minute, tightly packed video.
Yeah.
That's very difficult. And you have to know, like the back of your hand, what you're talking about. My North Star is always just to get more people interested in the sport. But to me, that the leadership traits that we've been talking about are so integral, in knowledge and what we talked about. You have to know what you're talking about to uplift the sport and teach people. Courage to do it. A lot of people have said forever there's no money in gymnastics, especially men's gymnastics, and I disagree. And I think you have to have the courage to prove other people wrong and not care about people that don't agree with that.
Yeah, of course. It's your passion, and you only see what your vision is, not what the outliers or what the audience, like they don't see your vision, but you see your vision yourself.
Exactly.
And you're staying true to that with that endurance.
Yes, sir. And like we talked about with endurance and enthusiasm, just being able to go in every day and not get discouraged when maybe it's not working as quickly as you hoped it would, which definitely happens.
Definitely.
At least with me. I think it's immensely important. With these leadership traits in mind, what advice would you give someone who wants to be a Marine?
So what I would say is these traits, just own them early. Like you should have been working on enthusiasm, trying to have that uplifting emotion and that uplifting positivity to get through our day and help out your family, friends, whichever. I would say for courage is just be able to stand up for yourself. Even taking the first step to, if you want to be a Marine, taking that first step to ask your local recruiter or find a counselor and just ask, I do want to be a Marine. What should I do? just like courage is synonymous with our other trait, which is initiative. And enthusiasm and endurance. For endurance, just be ready for tough days. Sometimes they might be longer, more than 12 hours. Sometimes it can be short. It depends on the mission. There are tough days, and you're going to need that mental and physical endurance for it. For knowledge, it's not just about knowing your ins and outs for the job. It's also knowledge to lead. The Marine Corps prides itself on leadership, and you should be looking into finding out how you can see yourself as a leader. And what I would like to say is we preach on servant leadership, meaning I'm not here for myself as the boss or leader. We are here to take care of you, or the junior Marines itself, because they are the working body. They are the body that actually gets the mission done. We are the supervisor, the mentor, the leader that makes sure that they are taken care of to carry out the mission.
Yeah, this has been super insightful for me, and I know
Of course.
I'm going to take a lot of your lessons and these leadership traits back to my life to keep pushing for my goals, and I hope the audience will do the same. Do you have any closing remarks for the audience?
The only thing that I would say is always do better, do something for yourself every day, and remember your roots, where you came from, and why you're continuing to reach for your goals. If it's for yourself, for your family, for your best friend, whichever, but find a anchor that you can have so you can continue pursuing those goals and you have something to fall back on. Mine is always family first. I joined for family. I wanted to find my own path to create a better version of myself. That's to give back to family. I want to create that legacy. So that's why I like to say in the Marine Corps and everything else, like, you're forging a legacy. This is all about you. This is for the person that wants to be a Marine. You're creating your own family legacy because you're going to get all those traits, which is endurance, enthusiasm, knowledge, and courage, and even more, which is the rest of the leadership traits that the Marines talk about.
Thank you so much, Gunnery Sergeant. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you guys for watching, and ask more questions in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.